Well, good afternoon once again to all the members present here. We at MIT welcomes you in the webinar on women entrepreneurship organized by Department of Computer Science Engineering under Computer Engineering Society. And the topic of today's webinar is women entrepreneurship. Now, I would like to introduce the speakers in the webinar. Vanshika Maheshwari from BTech fourth year, Purvi Bansal, BTech CSE fourth year, and Malika Chaudhary from BTech CS third year. May I request the speakers to share their screen and share their thoughts on the topic women entrepreneurship. Vanshika Maheshwari,
Yes, sir.
Malika, yes, you can share your screen and start the webinar.
Okay, sir.
We officially welcome you all in the webinar
Thank you,
once
sir.
again.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Malika, please continue.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Malika Chaudhary, third year student of CS Branch BTech, with my co-speakers Vanshika Maheshwari, a fourth year BTech student, and Purvi Bansal, a fourth year BTech student as well, welcomes you to this webinar on the topic Women Empowerment. Now I would like to call Vanshika Maheshwari to take the session ahead.
Okay. So, Malika, please confirm if my voice is audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So, first of all, we
Yes,
need
you're
to
audible.
understand what is empowerment. So, here is the definition. Empowerment is the process of increasing the authority and responsibility of individuals or groups to make choices and to transform those choices into desired actions and outcomes. It is not about the success or failure. It is about to stand strong on the way to your success without depending on someone. So now I just want to raise a question that what do you think? Which section of the society needs to empower? So I guess the answer it is obvious that it's the woman who needs the empowerment. Woman empowerment means emancipation of women from the vicious grip of social, economical, political, caste gender based discrimination. It means granting women the freedom to make life choices. Women should be able to express her thoughts and imagination freely and create self confidence and to negotiate for power to gain asserts and decision making. Women empowerment is all about accepting and allowing women who are on the outside of the decision making process. It is the most crucial point to be noted for the overall development of the country. Empowerment means equal status to women. It provides greater access to knowledge and resources, greater autonomy in decision making, greater ability to plan, and free from the shackles imposed on them by custom, belief, and practice. Women empowerment occurs in with sociology, psychological, political, cultural, familiar, and economic spheres, and at various levels, such as individual, group, and community. Women empowerment is an ongoing process which enhances women's ability to change the structure and ideologies that keep them subordinate. It also acts as process of creating awareness and capacity building. But women have been deprived from the rights. If we think about it is, and is this happening since starting? So at earlier times of Stone Age period, women had equal status and power with that of men, but then gradually their status fallen and brought women to a time when they were treated as slaves. As we can see the history also. When we track back to the historic days of Mahabharata, it is crystal clear that Draupadi was put on the dice by her husband as the commodity. This shows that the gender inequality existed. History has an evidence that men folk in general like the dance of women and enjoy to the core. As a result, women were made to entertain and please men through their dancing both in private and public places. It is obvious in the Indian society that a major chunk of the female was always dependent on male members of their family till a few years ago, just to run their family course and also to attend to their personal and basic needs. In the family amidst the presence of elder members of her in-laws, females were not freely allowed to express or speak with loud voice. And this is also the current situation also we can see. In this kind of situation, if somebody good happened in the family, the male took the credit and became responsible. On the other hand, if something bad occurred in the family, every fault and liability was placed on female as a sole responsibility. It is heartening to note that the woman after becoming a widow, she had to be totally dependent on male member of the family for taking out their livelihood, managing their family affairs, upbringing the children, and fulfilling their own personal needs. Even today, it is explicitly clear that dependence of a widow on male members of a family still keeps on increasing. It is very pathetic to see the situation that is many social activities a widow is not easily permitted to mingle with other members of the family. It is the worst practice that widow has a scanty share in political, social, and economic life of the society. Here are some statistics women in the world. Women constitute almost 50% of total population on this planet. The total population 7.8 billion, women population 586.5 million, which is approx 51%. Sex ratio 943 by 1000 men and child sex ratio 919 by 1000. So, according to 2013 UNDP report on development indicators, all South Asian countries except Afghanistan were ranked better for women than India. In 2015, an Indian girl child age 1 to 5 years is 75% more likely to die than the boy child. In 2009, woman is raped once in every 10 minutes and 50 to 60% of the cases are not registered. So now the present situation of women. So in New Delhi, being equal to their male counterparts is still a far cry for Indian women. Currently, women occupied only 8 out of 74 ministerial positions in the Union Council of Ministers. There were only 7 women judges out of 26 judges in the Supreme Court, and there were only 78, which is about 7.9%, women judges out of 634 judges in various high courts. As we see the differences, about 66% of the female population in rural areas is unemployed. This is mainly due to existing social customs. In agriculture and animal care, the women contribute 90% of the total workforce. Women constitute almost half of the population, perform nearly two-thirds of its work hours, receive one-tenth of the world's income, and own less than 1 by 100 of the world property. Among the world's 900 million illiterate people, women ratio men is 2 to 1. 70% of people living in poverty are women. Now, as we see the graph, women at decision making level. The dark blue shows the lower decision making power, and the light blue and the dotted part shows higher decision making power. Participation of women in election increased over the years. Proportion of women turnout for voting is 58.2%. Now I would like to call Purvi to take ahead the session. Purvi, you may proceed.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanshika, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. So, till now, we have heard about the situation of women in the society. All of us are now aware of what women empowerment is. So all this discussion raises a question: why we actually need women empowerment? The main problems that were faced by women in past days and still today up to some extent are gender discrimination, because boys are always preferred more over girl child. Women education. In terms of education, girls are not allowed to go to schools. They are made to sit at home and do only household chores. Female infanticide. Since birth, girls need to fight for their existence and survival. Girl child are aborted before birth. Dowry. Dowry is a social custom that came into existence a long time ago and still continuing in many places. Girls are facing a lot of harassment due to this custom. Marriages in same caste and child marriage. Marriages before time snatches the opportunity from girls to work and grow or get education. They only become a home asset for the rest of their life. Atrocities on women, raped, kicked, killed, subdued, and humiliated almost daily. There are so many incidences and many cases of rape, kidnapping of girls, dowry harassments, and so on taking place every day in the workplaces. So this kind of violence against women has been increasing day by day. Girls are not at all safe to go out of their homes. This becomes another reason for not letting girls to go out and work. Article 15 of the Indian Constitution states that clearly no citizen should be discriminated on the grounds of only sex. But the irony we find that still discrimination is widespread, which says clearly that women are subjected to injustice in many forms. In spite of all such policies, all this is still happening in the society. So, as girls are facing a lot of violence due to these social evils, this brings out the need for the girls to be educated and empowered so that they could raise their voice against such evils and stop being victims. Here comes the need for women empowerment. Women are deprived of decision-making power, freedom of movement, access to education, access to employment, exposure to media. They are not even given chances to showcase their skills and outshine themselves. So let's discuss what factors are essential for women empowerment. As we all can see from the slide, water and sanitation, political participation, asset base, marketing, credit, technology, skills, education, health and nutrition, etc. All of them are very essential to grow. So women need to understand the importance of these factors. For that, she needs to be educated and have the correct knowledge to use them for her welfare in the society. So there could be various ways to empower women, like, as we all can see, changes in women's mobility and social interaction, changes in women's labor patterns, changes in women's access to and control over resources, and changes in women's control over decision making. Providing education, self-employment and self-help groups, providing minimum needs like nutrition, health, sanitation, and housing. Other than this, society should change the mentality towards the word women. Actually, this one is the most important one. Encouraging women to develop in their fields they are good at and make a career. As we all know, various non-governmental organizations or the NGOs have supported women by providing them assistance in moving forward. Like non-governmental organizations have always played a significant role in empowering women. Just a few years after independence, the government set up the Central Social Welfare Board, an apex body of the voluntary sector that aids more than 10,000 NGOs across the country, helping women stand on their own through such programs as socio-economic program, vocational training, and other similar programs. Also, the Government of India has significantly contributed for the welfare of women in the society. The Department of Women and Child Development has been implementing social programs for the holistic development and empowerment of women with major focus to improve their socio-economic status. There has been policy shifts from time to time based on the shifts in emphasis. The year 2001 was declared as the Women's Empowerment Year to bring greater focus on the programs for women. A program of support to technical employment for women, STEP, was launched in 1987 to strengthen and improve opportunities for women. In traditional sectors of agriculture, small animal husbandry, etc., where women are employed on a larger scale. Swayam Siddha, launched in March 2001, and the Swashakti project, earlier known as the Rural Women's Development Empowerment Project, launched in October 1998, seem to be a greater influence in this field. Vanshika, please change the slide.
Yeah.
So, as we can see, there are various women empowerment programs that have been undertaken by the government, like the Swayam Siddha, Swashakti project, support to training and employment program for women, that is the STEP, Swalamban, creches, daycare centers for the children of working and ailing mothers, hostels for working women, Swadhar, Rashtriya Mahila Kosh. So let's just get to know what these are. Swayam Siddha, Indira Mahila Yojana. It is an integrated project for the development and empowerment of women through self-help groups with emphasis on covering service developing access to micro-enterprises. All around 10 lakh women have taken membership in this project. Swayam Shakti project, earlier known as the Rural Women's Development and Empowerment Project, was sanctioned in October 1998 a centrally sponsored scheme to be implemented in various states of India. And the next one, please. Yeah. Support to Training and Employment Program for Women, STEP. The program seeks to provide updated skills and new knowledge to poor asset, less women in 8 traditional sectors of employment, agriculture, animal husbandry, dairying, fisheries, handlooms, handcrafts, khadi, and village industry and sericulture. The next one is Swadhar. This scheme was launched in 2001 to 2002 as a central sector scheme for providing holistic and integrated services to women in difficult circumstances. The National Policy for the Empowerment of Women in 2001 has the goal to bring about the advancement, development, and empowerment of women in the society. And the last is Rashtriya Mahila Kosh, RMK, also known as the National Credit Fund for Women, was set up as a registered society under the Societies Registration Act 1860 on March 30, 1993. Credit support or microfinance to poor women to start income generating activities such as in dairy, agriculture, shopkeeping, vending, and handicrafts. In 2003 to 2004, an amount of rupees 25 crore was sanctioned through RMK, benefiting the women. So this is all about the needs of women empowerment and what significant steps have been taken till now to fulfill these needs. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Mallika Chaudhary to please share her point of view on the topic.
Thank you, Purvi. The world is coming up with different policies so that women can encouraged. And no girl should feel bad because she was born as a daughter. No girl should think she should not study because her school limits her. No mentor should assume that a girl should go less far in her career because she might give birth to a child one day. Some of the policies that encourages women at worldwide view is UNIFEM. It is a women's fund at United Nations. It provides financial and technical assistance to innovative programs and strategies to foster women's empowerment and gender equality. UNIFEM has identified three strategic areas that are of critical concern for the achievement of gender equality and women's empowerment. Reducing the feminized poverty, ending violence against women, which is a very hello, achieving gender equality in democratic governments in times of peace as well as war. It is right that the women be involved in the policies and decisions that will affect her life. It is right that women offered the same respect as the men. But sadly, I can say no country in the world can claim that they have achieved the gender equality. We have been doing so many steps. One of them are GRBI initiative in India. It is a it is from United National Development Fund for Women, UNIFEM, the Commonwealth Secretary and Canada International Development Research Centre to support government and civil societies in analyzing and local budgets of gender perspective and applying this analysis to formulation of gender responses and budgets. 2020 theme International Women's Day. Each year around the world, International Women's Day is celebrated on March 8. Thousands of events occur not just on this day, but throughout March to mark economic, political, and social achievement of women. Empowerment yourself means to improve the ability to manage and control our emotions and mentality. Knowledge makes it possible in best way. And there comes a difference to take a stand for yourself. Being different, it also means thinking different. Believe in yourself and chase your dream. Next slide, please. Self-Employed Women's Association or SEWA. It started a trade union registered in 1972 and founded by Ella Bhatt, organization of self-employed women worker who earn a living through their own labor or small businesses. Seva's membership, which is in nomination rupees 5 a year, includes women from cross-section of the society, from vegetable and fruit hawkers to home-based weavers, potters, and manual laborers, so that this can help at micro level also. Now, some empowerment indicators are for legal empowerment, number of cases related to women's rights heard in local courts and their results. Number of cases related to the legal rights of divorced and widowed women heard in local courts and the results are still due. Increase and decrease in violence against women. It's only increasing year by year. Rate at which the women of local justice, prosecutors, lawyers who are women, men is increasing and decreasing. Political empowerment to seek for the percentage of seats held by women in local councils, decision-making bodies, percentage of the women in decision-making positions in local governments, percentage of women in local civil services, percentage of women registered as voters, and percentage of eligible women who vote and who actually come to vote. Percentage of women in senior, junior decision-making positions within unions. Percentage of union members who are women. You can compare them and see what's the difference. Changes in employment and unemployment rates of women and men. Salaries, wages, differentials between women and men. They're clearly seen. Average households expenditures of female. Headed households on education and health. Ability to make small budgets or large purchases independently. And if we talk about social empowerment, control of women over decisions, number of children, for example, mobility of women within and outside their homes. Now, the future is asking for diversity, productivity, efficiency, management, and believe me, women have got all the elements required. She needs to be clear with her gravitas and solemnity of manner. We have so many examples all around the globe who are leading in their fields, like Nirmala Sitaram, Sania Nehwal, Christine Lagarde, Sunita Harris, and Sunita Reddy. Among the educated women in India, women from the middle class are counting to improve in the walk of lives, cutting across their traditional boundaries. The 21st century has brought a new hope, has empowered women in a positive manner. Earlier, they were under the shadow of father, husband, but now they have established their own identity and are independent. Modernization and the advent of the latest technology have widened the hope and opportunities for them. And there comes a difference all over the world. The graph shows how many women are taking participation in the tech sector. If a woman decides she can pursue whatever she wants, women represent half the world's population, and gender equality exists in every nation on the planet. Until women are given the same opportunities that the men are, entire societies will be designed to perform below their true potentials. Or else it will take hundreds of years for women just to seek for respect, the equal respect as the men get from the society. The greatest need of the hour is to change the social attitude towards women. If men don't have to control them, women won't be controlled. If we stop defining each other by what we are not and start defining ourselves by who we are, we can all be freer. And this is what he for she is all about. It's all about freedom. Men should take up the mantle so that their daughters, sisters, and mother can be free from prejudice. To sum up, women empowerment is not at all possible without the wholehearted support and cooperation of their family members. The society where women are living has to assist and recognize their very effort to come up. Well, not only for the educational attainment, social participation outside of her family, also in rendering economic support to prove their worth in every possible ways of development and empowerment. Feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the world, changing the way world perceives the strength. I'm a proud feminist, and it's not a question of gender. A male can also be a proud feminist. Feminism, by definition, is the belief in social, economical, and political equality of the sexes. Fighting for women's rights has too often become synonymous to man hating. But that's totally wrong. We need to understand that women are facing problems which they take a stand for. We are struggling for a uniting world, but the good news is that we have a uniting movement. Thank you everyone for being such a wonderful audience.
Well, thank you for such a wonderful and insightful session on women entrepreneurship by Vanshika Maheshwari, Purvi Bansal, and Malika Chaudhary, the students of Computer Science and Engineering, MIT Meerut. Now, I would like to call upon Head of Department, Mr. Suraj Malik sir, to give the vote of thanks to the speaker. Am I audible, sir?
Right, sir. Right, Ayush. Okay, Ayush. I thank all the participants and audience of the webinar on women entrepreneurship organized by the Computer Engineering Society, Department of Computer Science, Meerut Institute of Technology. I hope that this webinar will attract your attention towards one of the most important problems that exists in our society. I also hope that from now, each of our participants will try to empower the women so that our society will become a good place for women. Thank you for your valuable time. Let's end this webinar.
Okay. Well, the participants, the feedback form link for the webinar is posted in the chat box. And last but not the least, if anyone from the audience side would like to share their views, the platform is open for you. You too can share your views upon the topic women empowerment. The feedback form link is already shared in a chat box. If anyone from the audience would like to share their views, Sushma ma'am, then we have Sunita ma'am, Smriti ma'am, then we have Sheikh Nazrul sir, Sama Ansari sir. If anybody else wants to share their views, the platform is open. They too can share their views. So we should end the session now then?
Right, Ayush? No problem.
Okay.